The energy in the air is shifting, and it feels almost electric. Venus has entered Leo, opening a portal unlike any other. This isn't just astrology, it's a doorway to understanding your desires, your confidence, and the way you express yourself in the world. Venus in Leo amplifies what lies within, bringing your passions to the surface, highlighting your creativity, and calling your inner fire to action. Yet, there's a quiet secret here, one that Shaolin masters have known for centuries. True power never comes from force. It comes from alignment, calm, steady, and precise. You might feel a pull, an urge to act, to show, to take, but before any move is made, there's a moment to observe, a moment to breathe, and a moment to understand what is truly yours, and what is simply noise. Desires will rise, bold and insistent, but clarity before action is the key. This is the principle of mastery, seeing clearly, feeling deeply, yet never being consumed. In this video, you will learn 9 essential truths about the Venus in Leo portal. You'll discover how to channel passion into purpose, how to express yourself without losing balance, and how to harness this energy to elevate your presence, creativity, and relationships. Some of these lessons draw directly from ancient Shaolin teachings, offering perspectives rarely spoken about, even in modern spirituality. By the end, you will see this portal not as a fleeting event, but as a powerful invitation to refine your inner alignment, sharpen your focus, and step into your own quiet authority. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire, where ancient wisdom meets modern life. Subscribe now and join us as we step through this portal together. Energy moves like a river now, swift, unpredictable, and alive. It stirs beneath the surface, touching thoughts, emotions, even the smallest impulses. In these moments, impatience is the hidden danger. A single hasty action can ripple outward, creating consequences that clarity could have avoided. This is the time to remember that power is not in the speed of response, but in the steadiness of perception. Pause. Breathe, let the energy settle around you rather than within you. Feel it, not with judgment, but with awareness. Notice how it rises in the chest, shifts through the mind, and even flows in the body. This practice is simple, yet profound. It is the space between impulse and action where mastery begins. By holding that space, you allow the currents of desire, ambition, and inspiration to align with your own center, rather than sweep you away. Shaolin discipline teaches the same truth. A fist is not thrown without preparation. A step is not taken without balance. The body moves with precision only when the mind is still. The stillness is not absence of movement, but a readiness that harmonizes intention with action. To act too soon, to react without thought, is to surrender to chaos. To wait, to observe, to breathe, is to invite clarity. Now, in this Venus in Leo energy, the temptation is to rush, to demand results, to assert yourself too forcefully. But the deeper path is quiet. It is patience practiced as a form of strength. By embracing the pause, you allow the energy to inform you rather than control you. Each choice becomes intentional, each gesture aligned. In this calm, measured awareness, the wild currents of desire transform into focused momentum, and every step you take carries the weight of presence, not haste. There is a light that does not shout, a presence that draws without effort. Venus in Leo awakens it, inviting each of us to shine, but not through force or performance. It asks for authenticity, for the courage to reveal who we are without bending to expectation or applause. This is the kind of energy that stirs quietly yet profoundly, touching others without demanding attention. In Shaolin practice, this is understood as action without ego. Every movement, every breath, every step is complete in itself. There is no need to prove, to boast, or to perform for recognition. The master moves, strikes, or bows with full awareness, yet without clinging to how it will be perceived. Expression becomes a reflection of inner alignment, not a tool for validation. When the ego steps aside, what remains is clarity, precision, and a kind of magnetic presence that cannot be manufactured. This principle carries through the Venus in Leo portal. Desire for admiration is natural, yet attachment to it clouds the very light this energy offers. True magnetism grows in stillness, in the quiet confidence of being fully yourself. It does not demand attention. It earns it by the way your energy moves and resonates. People sense authenticity long before words or gestures can convey it. The lesson is subtle but transformative. Shine fully, but do not let the shine depend on the reflection in someone else's eyes. Speak, create, act. Let each motion be complete and whole on its own. In this space, the heart remains open, the mind remains centered, and influence arises naturally. This is the balance of inner mastery, strength without aggression, radiance without pretense, presence without need. It is the quiet power of Venus in Leo, harmonized through the discipline of the mind and the authenticity of the soul. Emotions rise like the tide, sudden and insistent. Passion flares, desire awakens, pride surfaces, and each carries a weight that can either guide or overwhelm. Venus in Leo stirs these currents, amplifying what already lies within, making every feeling sharper, brighter, more immediate. It is easy to be swept away, to react before thought, to mistake intensity for clarity. The path of mastery asks for a different approach. Begin by observing, notice the surge of anger, the rush of excitement, the pull of longing. Name it quietly in your mind. Feel it fully, but do not act on it immediately. Breathe through it. Let the waves move beneath your awareness, not against it. In this pause, the storm begins to settle and insight emerges. Shaolin meditation offers a fitting analogy. Emotions are like waves in a vast ocean. They will rise, they will crash, they will retreat. Mastery is not holding them back or suppressing them. Mastery is learning to ride them, to move with their energy rather than be submerged. The master does not resist the wave. The master aligns with it, maintaining balance while navigating its force. In this way, even the strongest surges of feeling become tools rather than obstacles. Techniques are simple but profound. Slow, conscious breathing, mindful labeling of emotions, visualizing them as passing clouds or rolling waves. Each practice trains the mind to witness without clinging, to respond with awareness rather than reflex. The more this is cultivated, the less the world's shifting energies dictate your inner state. Intense emotions remain, but they are no longer threats. They become guides, signals of what matters, lessons in patience and opportunities to move with grace through the currents of life. Pleasure is not a mistake, nor is beauty a trivial distraction. Venus in Leo shines a spotlight on both, inviting awareness of what brings joy, comfort, and delight. Yet this energy is not an excuse for excess. The temptation is to chase sensation, to fill emptiness with temporary indulgence, forgetting that the depth of experience lies not in abundance, but in presence. Mindful enjoyment transforms ordinary moments into something meaningful. Eating, creating, connecting, or resting, all can become acts of meditation when approached with awareness. Taste fully, but do not swallow recklessly. Listen deeply, but do not cling to every sound or word. Let each sensation be honored, appreciated, and then released, so that it does not accumulate into distraction or attachment. Shaolin wisdom teaches that discipline is not denial, it is the path to deeper appreciation. A master's routine, a carefully measured practice, a disciplined mind, they all allow the fleeting to become profound. Without restraint, experiences are shallow, passing like clouds across the sky. With discipline, even simple acts carry weight, texture, and clarity. A single gesture can contain the richness of an entire day. This is why luxury, indulgence, and connection should be understood as tools, not destinations. They can refine the mind, awaken the senses, and cultivate gratitude, but they are not the measure of life itself. True fulfillment emerges from the balance between desire and awareness, between enjoyment and restraint. When this balance is honored, pleasure deepens naturally, without craving, without force, and without regret. Every touch, every taste, every exchange becomes an opportunity to practice presence, to refine attention, and to honor the flow of energy that Venus in Leo brings, a flow that rewards those who savor consciously rather than grasp blindly. Courage is often mistaken for noise and spectacle, but Leo's energy teaches a different kind of bravery. It calls for presence, for boldness born not from performance, but from the willingness to reveal what is real. To show your authentic self in a world that rewards masks is the quietest act of strength, yet also the most radical. Shaolin practice reflects the same principle. Power is never loud, it is grounded, steady, and rooted in inner stability. A master does not shout to be seen, nor strike to prove dominance. Each movement, each breath, carries the weight of awareness and the calm of discipline. Strength emerges naturally when the foundation within is solid. The outer expression then flows without strain, without exaggeration, without need for approval. Leo energy magnifies this lesson. It encourages taking risks, embracing visibility, and stepping forward into your own light. Yet true courage begins with self-inquiry. What fears whisper beneath the surface, urging hesitation, self-doubt, or concealment? To face these fears gently, without judgment, is to cultivate the inner soil from which boldness grows. Reflection becomes a form of practice. Notice moments when pride, anxiety, or shame keeps expression hidden. Observe them as passing sensations, not definitions. With patience, these fears lose their grip, and authenticity can flow freely. The quiet confidence that emerges does not demand attention, it commands it naturally. In this space, boldness and calm coexist. The heart beats steady, the mind observes clearly, and actions carry weight without clamor. Showing yourself fully is not an act of vanity, it is the expression of alignment, discipline, and mastery. Leo's fire is not a call to boast, but a call to stand firm in your truth, to move through the world with integrity, and to radiate strength that is felt rather than announced. Charisma is often misunderstood as something to be created, displayed, or controlled. Yet Venus in Leo whispers a different truth. Attraction flows effortlessly from stillness, not performance. When energy is aligned and presence is fully embodied, magnetism arises naturally. It does not demand attention, it simply resonates. Shaolin wisdom teaches that energy moves most powerfully when the mind is clear and focused. A master does not chase results or force outcomes. Each gesture, each breath, each step carries its own weight because it originates from harmony within. Presence becomes the channel through which energy flows, touching everything around it without strain or effort. It is not a show but a signal, a quiet authority that draws without demand. This is why practice matters. Daily attention to presence trains the mind to settle, the body to move with awareness, and the heart to remain calm amid distraction. Simple acts, breathing with intention, walking with attention, listening fully, become exercises in aligning energy. Over time, these small moments accumulate, creating a field of influence that cannot be manufactured by words or force. Venus in Leo magnifies this effect, heightening sensitivity, warmth, and the natural spark of individuality. Yet the challenge is always the same. Resist the temptation to perform, to embellish, to push. Instead, inhabit your own center fully. Let your gaze, your gestures, and your energy carry authenticity. People sense this alignment immediately. They are drawn not to what is done, but to the quiet mastery that allows it to happen so effortlessly. In this space, presence becomes power. Each interaction, each choice, each movement carries a resonance that amplifies without effort. Charisma is no longer an act, it is a reflection of inner clarity, disciplined awareness, and the steady flow of energy harmonized with self. Connections are currents, subtle yet powerful, moving between people in ways that shape both heart and mind. Venus in Leo stirs these currents, amplifying attraction, desire, and intensity in relationships. Some interactions may feel magnetic, others challenging, but each offers insight into how energy flows between self and other. Mindful communication becomes essential. Speak with clarity, choosing words that reflect truth rather than impulse. Listen fully, not simply to respond, but to understand the currents moving within another. Honor boundaries, both yours and theirs, recognizing that respect is the bridge between closeness and chaos. These practices are not just etiquette, they are mastery in motion, guiding relationships toward balance rather than tension. Shaolin wisdom frames connection in the same way. True harmony arises when self-mastery and relational awareness coexist. A monk does not impose, dominate, or cling. Instead, presence, discipline, and clarity allow interaction to flow naturally. Each gesture, each word, each silence is intentional, honoring both personal integrity and the rhythm of the shared space. In this way, connection is not a transaction or a projection, it is a living exchange that nurtures growth and stability. Venus in Leo challenges us to shine while remaining grounded in relational awareness. Desire and magnetism can heighten attraction, but without mindfulness, they can also create imbalance. Observing your own impulses, responding rather than reacting, and maintaining centeredness ensures that interactions carry depth rather than fleeting intensity. Through this practice, relationships become reflections of inner mastery. Passion can exist without chaos, closeness without compromise, and expression without ego. The energy shared is not drained or scattered, it is harmonized, flowing freely, guided by clarity, patience, and presence. In the space between self and other, the dance of connection becomes both art and discipline, a mirror of the inner balance that Venus in Leo illuminates. Desire rises like fire under Leo's influence, bright, insistent, impossible to ignore. It pulses through the body, stirs the mind, and quickens the heart. Yet desire alone is not mastery. Left unchecked, it becomes distraction, chasing fleeting satisfaction or feeding the ego. True skill lies in directing that energy with purpose, shaping it into action that builds, teaches, or serves. Shaolin tradition offers guidance here. Every ounce of internal energy is a tool, meant to refine the self and deepen engagement with life, rather than scatter attention across trivial pursuits. The master channels focus through discipline, allowing impulses to flow toward learning, growth, and contribution. Fire becomes warmth, motion becomes strength, and desire transforms into meaningful movement. This is the quiet work Venus in Leo invites. Each surge of motivation can be a signal pointing toward what matters most. It may highlight creative projects waiting to be realized, personal practices ready to deepen, or relationships that need conscious attention. The challenge is simple but profound. Observe the fire, feel its pull, and ask, where should this energy go? How can it create rather than consume? Reflection becomes practice. Pause and consider your goals. Which ambitions resonate with your authentic self? Which actions will leave lasting impact rather than fleeting satisfaction? By directing passion with mindfulness, each effort is infused with intention. The energy no longer distracts, it propels. In this space, desire is no longer a force that controls you, it is a companion, a tool, a teacher. The fire of Leo, when harnessed with discipline, illuminates the path toward creation, mastery, and meaningful presence. Each step taken becomes an act of alignment, a reflection of the inner power that flows naturally when action is grounded in clarity, purpose, and self-mastery. After the surge of energy passes, stillness becomes essential. Venus in Leo opens a portal that can leave the mind buzzing, the heart stirred, and the body restless. To honor the lessons of this period, take time for quiet reflection through journaling, meditation, or simply sitting in conscious awareness. In these moments, the noise of intensity begins to settle and clarity emerges. Writing or meditating allows the mind to trace patterns previously unnoticed. Thoughts, emotions, and impulses can be observed without judgment, revealing insights about desires, fears, and motivations. Each reflection becomes a map, showing where growth has occurred, where lessons remain, and how energy can be channeled with intention. The portal does not just stir the present, it offers a mirror of inner rhythms, a chance to recognize cycles and tendencies that shape daily life. Shaolin wisdom underscores the importance of integration. Action without assimilation is like water spilled on dry ground, it disperses without nourishing. Mastery is not only in the doing, but in the absorption of experience, in letting insight settle into body, mind, and spirit. discipline is required not only in movement or practice, but in pausing afterward to allow the flow of energy to deepen rather than scatter. Through consistent reflection, the intensity of Venus in Leo is transformed into guidance. Moments of desire, boldness, or inspiration are recorded and examined, creating a reservoir of understanding that can be drawn upon long after the portal closes. The mind becomes more attuned, the heart steadier, and the body more aligned with subtle currents of energy. In this practice, the fire of the portal is not lost, it is refined. Integration turns bursts of influence into lasting insight, fleeting impulses into conscious action. Each pause, each moment of reflection becomes an act of mastery, allowing energy to serve growth rather than dissipate into distraction.